Pronouns are they, them.
He or she just doesn't fit who I am.
My apologies. Please switch their piece.
Okay.
His face. Again, if you're just tuning in, if you just clicked and you're like, hey, what's Lance looking at right now? This is Ben Shapiro's face, the face that he is making at kids learning about pronouns, proper pronoun usage. Basically, the utility of the English language right now. This is the face that he makes. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen him have this level of disgust for like actual hate crimes. He'll talk about hate crimes, but sometimes he's smiling. Professor fired for transphobic candy bars. Okay, I'm watching that one, and then we vote because I have that very candy bar right here. I can try it for the first time live on air.
We have a company. It's called Jeremy's Chocolate, and Jeremy's Chocolate is about
it's your company, of course.
Joke. Boys exist, girls exist. We have he/him bars with nuts, and we have she/her bars without nuts. Apparently,
they turned the one joke into a food product. Yeah, I got the one joke right here in edible form. I can eat the one joke. Try it. It's been in the sun for a while. It's kind of recongealed into a single new form, but it does look quite healthy. Listen to this. Fair trade cocoa butter, dubious. Fair trade organic cane sugar, dubious. Dried milk powder, dry roasted diced almonds, fair trade cocoa powder, all dubious. Pretty dubious. But that sounds very on paper healthy. I got this, by the way. This was a gift from the pool compound. They had a whole row of them. I was like, oh, you got woke chocolate. He's like, no, it's anti-woke chocolate. I was like, no, it's woke. It's got pronouns. Because y'all don't like pronouns, right? scared of pronouns. Hunting your kids at night. Coming for your children. I'm not even doing a bit right now, by the way. I can pull it up. That was basically Libs of TikTok the other day. Just like straight up was talking about a kid's pronoun show, and that was like a danger to them.
you can now get fired for handing those things out at a community college. According to Daily Wire, a California community college history...
Aren't you Daily Wire? You're on Daily Wire. I see Daily Wire in the bottom left corner. So according to your own sources. Yeah. My sources tell me.
Professor is now in big trouble because he handed out.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. Sorry. This originally came from Megyn Kelly, but it came from Megyn Kelly and it was retweeted by Libs of TikTok. And apparently this clip is from a long time ago. It's not like I don't know this cartoon series, so I don't know. But look at this. Megyn Kelly. This is disgusting. Libs of TikTok. Recent episode from kids show Transformers. Earthspark. They're after your kids. My pronouns are they, them.
My pronouns are they, them.
Oh God. Wait, let's get this back.
My pronouns are they, them.
You already know that.
Like, are you serious? They, them? They, them? That was it? That's all it took? Fucking broke all your minds? That's it? I mean, honestly, y'all are so fucked. Are you going to start banning Transformers for, like, your children, like, the next generation? Is Transformers going to be a cartoon that, like, no kids on the right are allowed to watch? And then, meanwhile, all their friends are like, oh, man, you see the new Transformers? There was a they, them No, I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. Apparently, it's, like, the devil or something, and it's going to molest me. My mom was like, stranger danger, Transformers, stay away from it. Watch this shit and think this is in any way malicious. I'm not even here to defend or stand up for the new, like, Transformers series. I don't know it. I've never seen it. But, like, what about this in any way, shape, or form is like, yeah, this is a danger to children. Well, I'm going to go take my son to the gun range now. Yes, we're going to go learn how to fire a gun. Oh, I know he's only 6, but don't worry. They have, like, those little cute, you know, ear things you can put on, that kind of stuff. We'll probably get like some extra padding for him just for the recoil so it doesn't, like, bruise him or maybe, like, dislocate his arm or anything like that. But, like, he's got to learn, you know, because he's a man, and he's a straight man, and he's a biological man. He, him.
I know I'm safe when I'm with my friends or other non-binary people.
Oh, I can see this one. So, all right. Fair dues. I did think that this was pretty extreme at the beginning, just to lose it because there was only they them, and now I see that oh my, this is going to be far too much for the right. You already broke the right wing mind here, right there. That, like, again, like, just so you all understand, right? Like that's what's happening right here. This part, I don't even have the music. Just I'd have to play you that scene from Terminator 2, like holding onto the bars, and then like her whole face melts off her body, and then it becomes a skeleton. It's like dun, 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 dun. Like that's what's happening at this point.
I know I'm safe when I'm with my friends or other non-binary people.
Non-binary?
People who aren't female or male.
This is so precious. Oh my word, man! Learning these concepts at a young age, I would have grown. I would have grown up way less fucked up about a lot of shit. I'll be honest. I wouldn't have to even deprogram a lot of the stuff later in life to be like, so wait, there's a third gender, you say? Even woke ass Stark Brandon. You know, that's his answer. That's his best understanding of the concept. There are at least 3. And I mean, I guess that's as good as we'll ever get. Someone of your age, that's as close to the answers we could hope for, you know?
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed.
I always knew my pronouns felt right, but what a wonderful word for a wonderful experience.
Well, again, I totally understand why that caused Megyn Kelly to... This is disgusting. Yeah, I know. Learning about people accepting who they are, feeling happy, the proper use of the English language. Oh, oof. Yeah, I know. Ugh. Demons walk among us.
Jeremy's chocolate bars
A
to
few
students.
moments later.
David Richardson is a self-described gay conservative, and he stocked a bowl of candy with Jeremy's he, him, she, her chocolate bars, inviting Madera Community College students at an open house to help themselves, according to George Washington University law professor and blogger Jonathan Turley. School officials apparently took the act as an endorsement of the gender binary. Richardson told Turley he'd been suspended, banned from non-public spaces on campus, denied access to his email, as the school investigates him for serious misconduct. Richardson, again, who is gay and has been teaching for 33 years, said that a staff member started taking pictures of the candy bars and kept trying to bait me. Nothing happened until he received a letter on Monday. Apparently, this constitutes a hostile work environment, says the college officials. They claimed it was harassment and discrimination against
It's fine. It tastes like cheap chocolate. It just tastes like cheap chocolate. You can, like, the after finish, actually, it's not great. It's actually not great at all. It's not bad. But the finish? No, that's cheap ass shit. That's cheap ass. I'm not even a chocolate dude. I'm not one of those people who's like, and I'm not going back for seconds. I've had enough bigotry inside my body. Oh God, I can feel it changing me. Oh, quick. I need Bud Light. I need to even out. I gotta get some Bud Light. No, it's just fucking, it's very, very mid. It's incredibly mid, actually. My review of this, like, exceptionally mid. Very, like, that's the, I didn't even think I was, I thought it was gonna, because the ingredients seem so simple that I was like, it's probably gonna be tasty at the end of the day, even though it's like, you know, it's bigoted, it'll be tasty. But no, very, very mid. Yeah.
colleagues based on gender. Richardson is already in the
Is it Hershey's? I'd rather have a Hershey than that. I'd rather have a Kinder Surprise than that as well.
middle of a
I'd rather have a Cadbury egg.
Community college district, which he sued
Yeah.
after it sanctioned him for his behavior during a mandatory pronoun etiquette seminar that was led by a trans-identifying professor in October 2021.
Yeah, it's very forgettable.
So, first of all, hilarious. Second of all, frightening. So if you say that boys and girls exist, or if you
I'd rather have
Toblerone, it's just the same. And apparently, you could be fired from your job as a community college.
Okay, you snowflakes. No one is saying that boys and girls don't exist. You weirdos. Why do you keep saying that? It's like, you deny the existence of men. No. We just want to expand your mind. There's more than the very simple concept of man. You know, it doesn't have to just be like, dude.
Professor. Well, folks, that's a terrible story. It's a story that might put you in a bad mood, but you know what will put you in a better mood? Eating the same chocolate that is getting this professor in trouble.
No, I did it. I put it, it's inside me, and I regret taking such a large piece. It's not, I'm like, if I'm being 100% honest, I'm just giving you my honest opinion on this. It's not unedible. It's not disgusting. It tastes like very, very mid chocolate. Yeah. I would, yes. So the things that have been listed already, I'd rather have a Cadbury egg. I'd rather have a Hershey bar. I'd rather have a Kinder Surprise. I'd way rather have a fucking Reese's Pieces. That shit's good. Oh, Henry, I like O. Henry. I like the peanuts in the O. Henrys too. So that one would be good. Rather have a Mars bar. Yeah, I would be hard. No name brands. This is not going to beat out any of the name brands. This, you could probably find some kind of like, you know, some weird. You know, sometimes you get chocolate from friends who've been in another country, and at first it sounds so good. It's like, oh, the Strudel, and you're like, oh, this is going to be the best chocolate in the world. It's coming from Europe. I mean, European chocolate is like amongst the best of the world, and don't get me wrong, it has been before. And then randomly you bite into it, and you're like, ugh, like I don't know what's off there, and like, oh, that was fig, you know, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's like that. It's like that.
Should have Jeremy's chocolate at hand.
What about the crunch? Very little crunch. They break up. You can see it. They break up the nuts. You don't even get good pieces of nuts. You get little like crumbs, so they kind of feel like crackers. The nuts feel like a cracker, mixed in with like mid-level chocolate. And if it was higher than mid, I would go back for seconds, but I don't need it.
Jeremy believes every free American should have the right to hand out whatever chocolate he or she sees fit. And that's why right now you can get the delicious Jeremy's he, him, and she.
It's very mid. Don't waste your money. Go to a dollar store.
They are taught about the gender non-binary beauty, the beauty of gender non-binary terminology. Here we go.
Oh, we're gonna see more clips.
Can you switch?
Wait, there's more. Hell yeah. Oh, I'm so here for this. I mean, if the right is gonna completely destroy a really powerful AAVE term, then we should like just destroy their version of it in return. We're going on the offense, okay? We're taking wokeology to strange new heights. The great wokenine has unlocked this, and then we just have to go and run with it.
Pronouns are they, them.
He or she just doesn't fit who I am.
My apologies. Please switch their piece.
Okay.
His face. Again, if you're just tuning in, if you just clicked in, you're like, hey, what's Lance looking at right now? This is Ben Shapiro's face, the face that he is making at kids learning about pronouns, proper pronoun usage. Basically, the utility of the English language right now. This is the face that he makes. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen him have this level of disgust for like actual hate crimes. He'll talk about hate crimes, but sometimes he's smiling.
Okay. By the way, that's the second clip in this show where the robot declares that it is in fact gender non-binary because the human character says that she's a girl, is gender non-binary, and the robot's like, that's so beautiful. It matches the beauty of my experience. And it's just pure left-wing indoctrination on children's TV. Do not let your kids watch shows you haven't pre-screened. I know it's a lot of work. Or you could just subscribe to Daily Wire Plus, and then we'll pre-screen the stuff for you because we'll either.
Wait, I was like, what? Kids should not be watching anything on your program. It's all just a bunch of people who have such like hyper degrees of sexual repression that they're all weirdos, all of them. Like what's the roster that the kids should be watching? Yeah, start with Candace Owens, work their way up to Matt fucking Walsh, the dude who's got the baby version of it in the background, the giant walrus stalls and all that other shit. Matt fucking Walsh, the one who thinks that 16 years old is the ideal age of impregnation. It's when they're ideally fertile. It's when the ladies are fertile. That's right. Yeah, the problem isn't the infertilization. It's the fact that they're not married. But when they're done with both of those, who can they turn to? Jordan Peterson, Mr. Ciderman. Yeah, that's right. What's Jordan Peterson think about the world and life? Have you been seeing the things that he's been tweeting out lately? I'm not even going as far back as the fucking, the Chinese Communist Party male milking program. I'm still so happy that happened. See, these are residual laughs that happened because when it first happened, I think that's the most I've ever laughed on any episode of my show ever, was trying to get through that story start to finish. A, because it actually happened, and B, because it's just so ridiculous. That was one of those things that was so bad. You could see the rest of the right trying to stop him. Like even Jeremy the coordinator, someone talk to Michaela. Hurry, Jordan Peterson's posting cock milking porn. He doesn't know. Save the good doctor.
Either make it or license it. I mean, that's either you can trust our vetting procedures or you can trust your own. It's a lot more time effective to just let us do it for you, is the reality, over at dailywireplus.com. But that's the reason we are doing this, is because you literally cannot leave your kid in front of a TV watching a Transformers show for 7-year-olds without worrying they're going to be teaching your kid that he could be a she. It's absolutely absurd.
No, not what that lesson was. This was all about self-actualization, and that, hey, if you happen to be something, it doesn't matter what, you're most likely valid. And so because of that, it's fine to love yourself. That's the message in all these clips we've seen so far. The message is it's totally valid to be non-binary. It's totally valid to not be a boy or girl. And it's not at any point did I hear the robots say, and you have to become non-binary now. Everyone on Earth will be non-binary. An infinite number of genders for all.
Ridiculous. Summer is here. That means it's time to grill. Yes. Like most.
By the way, there has been more ads than there has been content. At this point, at 5 minutes, yeah, we've had more ads than we've had content.
They're being very clear about why they are arriving now. One migrant was talking to the media, said, "There's a reason I came right now. It's because Title 42 is ending," told CNN.
Y una pregunta, ¿usted está enterado del título 42 y que iban a abrir la frontera como antes de la pandemia? Were you aware of Title 42 and that they were going to open the border like before the pandemic?
Sí, está enterado.
Sí, por eso viniste, that's why you came?
Claro, igual que mucha gente.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why he showed up. He showed up because Title 42 is ending. And he knows that Joe Biden has no plan and will just release him into the interior of the United States. Not only are
I told you this would happen. So I read a story the other day about how what Joe Biden is doing is actually in some ways worse, and civil rights groups are saying this is worse than what Donald Trump did under Title 49. And then right now I was like, why are you doing this? If you do this and you speak out and you do something horrible, like the other side is not going to appreciate it. They're not going to give you props. They're not going to say, oh, this is our guy. It's like, reaching across the aisle is so fucking useless with the Republican Party now to do shit that is like abhorrent to your base. Like, maybe the libs are fine with it, but a lot of progressives are fucking sounding the alarm on what's going on. Meanwhile, fucking the right thinks that he's somehow opening up the border. I'll pull up the article. Hold on.
Interior. And they're now getting the Biden phones, which is very exciting. So migrants apparently are now being handed Biden phones. Why? So they can check in on their court dates. How many do you think they're going to?
This just came out. Critics warn Biden is finishing Trump's job with the new attack on asylum seekers. We will sue as we did under Trump, says the ACLU. The core illegality is the same. U.S. President Joe Biden's newly unveiled plan to crack down on asylum seekers, which his administration is expected to implement following the scheduled expiration of the pandemic-era Title 42, sorry, I said 49, 42, Title 42 policy on Thursday, is being denounced for entrenching bipartisan abandonment of international human rights laws. This asylum plan from the Biden administration is a disaster. It slams the door on our commitment to asylum as an internationally recognized principle. In many ways, it's worse than Title 42 and anything Trump proposed around asylum. Title 42 was enacted by former President Donald Trump early in the COVID-19 pandemic at the behest of notorious white nationalist advisor Stephen Miller. Despite widespread condemnation from human rights experts who accused Biden of following Trump and weaponizing the rarely used public health statute to swiftly deport immigrants, the current president has failed to fundamentally break from his predecessor's policy of fast-tracking the expulsion of asylum seekers. Forcing persecuted people to seek protection in countries with no functioning asylum system is as ludicrous as it is life-threatening. The ban of Title 42 in sheep's clothing and will have a devastating impact. And when I was reading this story like 2 days ago, I was like, and by the way, not only is this horrible, but the right is not going to celebrate what you're doing. They're going to lie and manipulate what you're doing is somehow making things even worse. Like, oh, this is opening up the border. Oh, the Title 42 under Trump protections are over. Not bringing up that this is obviously a pandemic measure. By the way, they were so against pandemic measures. Think about that for a second. Think of how much they all hated lockdowns, masks, social distancing, getting vaccinated. Oh, if there's two systems where people can't go out and eat and they've been vaccinated, it's apartheid. It's the same thing. Oh, no, it's not at all diminishing the horrors of the Holocaust for me to bring up the fact that this is kind of similar in somehow, some way, shape, or fashion. No, not at all. We're going to keep going. The fucking noise that they made over that shit. But hey, you want to export a whole bunch of, oh yeah, that sounds great. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Title 42, you say? Oh yeah, no, enact those, hey, we got to keep the people safe. We got to keep Americans safe, you know?
Me checking on the court dates from the cell phone, or maybe they'll use the cell phone for something else. Well, what do you think? This is from the post-millennial footage of illegal immigrants being handed phones. Those are your taxpayer dollars being handed to people. It's good. They can check.
Oh, I know. I saw that. I saw a lot of people within the Jewish community pointing out how like sad this made. Oh, they added context. Oh, wow. So Bernie Sanders is approximately as Jewish as a ham sandwich topped with shrimp on lard bread. And then what does this say? Senator Sanders grew up in Brooklyn, a son of Jewish immigrants. His father, Elias, immigrated from Poland in 1921. Senator Sanders learned during an appearance on PBS show Finding Your Roots that he had family that was killed during the Holocaust. Wow, this was helpful. Is this not helpful? Yes. I'm going to say all of the above. Yeah. 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 Submit. That was very helpful.
Check their Instagram. That's the really important thing. They're there at the border being handed phones. You can see.
By the way, this is obviously all monstrous. He's getting mad right now because they might be giving them temporary smartphones to use to potentially contact their families. The people, were they fleeing? Are these asylum seekers? Were they worried about having perhaps violence committed against them from the war on drugs that the United States is just kind of exporting everywhere? Like, does it have any part to play in any of this? Is it one of the least things you could do to be like, hey, like, I don't even know if they are giving them phones. That's awesome. That sounds too based, honestly. I don't see them doing that. I see them giving them temporary smartphones for whatever reason to be able to contact people. But if they are giving them actual just phones, amazing. That's incredible. Yes. Give them clothing, house them, teach them language. They're going to become contributing members to society.
ICE officials in the background, border protection officials in the background. And then they have.
Those appear to be phones that were in bags, the kind of bags they use to keep your stuff when you're in jail. Those are their own phones. Are you serious? The reason they're getting these phones is access to glitchy output. Wait. Okay, I want to look that up. That would be so fucking the post-millennial.
Like a sheet of paper and it's telling them, oh, you should check in on your court date. They're like, well, you know, I do have to check my Snapchat. So that's all going extremely well. Meanwhile, the only people who apparently are taking this seriously at all are members of the Texas National Guard. So Greg Abbott has activated the National Guard in Texas to actually build barbed wire fencing along the border. And you can.
Oh, wow. This has been a big story on the right. Biden administration giving cell phones to illegal immigrants. The White House confirmed Wednesday that illegal immigrants are being provided with electronic devices, notably cell phones, in an effort from the Biden administration to, quote, track and check in with them as they wait in immigration court proceedings. And you're getting mad about this. These are other stories on the White House. Why did you? Oh, okay. Illegal immigrants. These, again, you're just referring to other Fox News sites? Okay, you'll forgive me, all right? But hold on. The Daily Beast, Lance of the Serfs. Hold on. So I'm also a published opinion piece journalist. I've been published in the Daily Beast, and it took me a very long time to source everything I'm talking about. So when you see these links that pop up here, right, and you open them, Justin Trudeau. This is a link to Justin Trudeau hangs on a Canadian election that no one wanted. Oh, wait, did they change these? Oh, hold on. This is not my original story. I'll pull up my Word document. Is this just what they do? They link themselves to themselves? I have proof, by the way. Okay, you linked the Ben Shapiro one. All right, so that's one of the sources I cited. The commentator who was most searched for. Did you refer to your own story for this? Okay, you cited that source. Okay, thank God. I thought they started just taking all my links and put them to their own. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, you cited my Quebec mosque attack Globe and Mail article. Okay, so for the most part, they didn't change them. So this I can go back to showing you some of these links. But yeah, so for every single one of these highlights, I wanted to have the source so people could like right click and then read about that. And also it would make it easier for legal afterwards when they were fact checking the whole thing to be able to be like, is the Serfs just making this up? And it was easy to kind of like remember what a lot of these links were because it's like, it's what I do on this show every day. So it's like, oh, I know about Ben Shapiro. I know about the Quebec mosque shooter. I know about the 93 citations. So I could put those in. But then they changed those first couple links though. Those links weren't to the Daily Beast. That's why I was like, what the fuck? AdSense thinks you look great in a dress. Well, I can't fight AdSense.
See, there's like an actual border now with barbed wire fencing. This should be the job of the federal government. Federal government ain't doing it, so it's got to be the Texas National Guard.
You are all sick. You're like, I'm sorry, the right is sick. It's sick. It's absolutely sick. You have dehumanized people to such a degree where you see this and right now you lose all of your empathy. You don't see this, like, if you saw just this picture, it's like barbed wire, bunch of military men and families, mothers with children, all huddled together, scared, afraid. Like, what runs through your brain? I mean, I can't look at a shot like this just in and of itself and then think like, we need to do more. Oh my God, look at those rats. So many of them. Oh, there's no wall, just barbed wire where they can get cut up and die. That's it? We can't have them fall to their deaths?
And here at this particular border, you actually do see some people carrying small children. So they're attempting to cross that river, come across, and they're like, why are you guys stopping us? Well, you're being stopped because you're not allowed to enter countries without...
Oh my God, you are just monsters. You're monsters. And this is entertainment for you. He's watching this the same way people watch Kitchen Nightmares. This is the same thing that like fucking React Andy's on Twitch do to Gordo Ramsay. But for him, it's fucking Border Watch.
Permission of those countries, typically speaking. Now, if Donald Trump had done this, then the media would be like, oh my God, look how cruel. Look at the cruel brutality of Donald Trump. But it's Joe Biden.
I'm saying that. Yeah, that hasn't changed. It doesn't matter if it's Trump or Biden. I agree. That is cruel and that seems like brutality. And if there's a whole bunch of people who are fleeing asylum and there's a whole bunch of children, fucking, yes, care for their welfare, help them out, give them clothing, give them food, give them a place to stay, get them out of the fucking barbed wire military unit area.
Doing it, which means he's a kindly elderly gentleman who just likes to sniff the hair of young minor children. So it's all fine, probably. Meanwhile, the Democrats have no plan whatsoever on the border. None. House Republicans passed a border security...
By the way, I just was telling you the story. There's a reason I brought that story so you could see that, like, yes, it's but they don't care. The right's never going to give Biden props for the vile shit that Biden does. The stuff that I am revolted by. The stuff where I'm like, holy fuck, Biden, fuck you. They don't give him props when it's like, hey, Biden's actually increasing federal police funding. It's like, hey, Biden's actually increasing military funding. You know, none of that. And then even when it happens to do with the border, it's like, oh, well, he's giving them cell phones, apparently.
Bill. Yesterday, it's dead on arrival. The measure passed 219 to 213. The legislation is known as the Secure the Border Act of 2023. It would mandate that CBP hire enough Border Patrol agents to maintain a staff of 22,000 and develop a plan to upgrade existing technology to make sure that agents are actually well equipped. It would also require the Homeland Security Secretary to resume construction of the border wall. The bill is unlikely to become law. Democrats hold a slim majority in the Senate, and the White House, of course, is issuing a veto threat this week. In a joint statement after the bill passed, House GOP leaders said that Republicans are taking action to address the chaos at our nation's borders by delivering legislation that will support our Border Patrol agents, block the flow of fentanyl into our country, and put an end to the Biden border crisis. That they actively, some of them, who actually care about the...
I love how they keep calling it a crisis, too, by the way, because not a single conservative understands. Or if they do understand, they're just intentionally lying. Could be either. It's hard to tell with the right. The majority of legal immigrants in the United States came there legally, and they're overstaying their visas. That's it. It's not a whole bunch of people constantly running towards the border, just trying to run into the United States, sneak through all the traps that you set up, Kit. They're all climbing walls, they're all digging underground. No, they're most likely flying over all of that, landing in America, and then overstaying their visas, their work visas. And yeah, the crisis is like 65,000 people, I know.
Border issue, at least.
But this is like, what else do they have? What, are you doing anything for the people? Are you actually providing for your community? No? Okay, well then keep them fucking afraid all the time about dangerous Mexicans. You know? Oh yes, a whole bunch of people from Ecuador are coming up. There's a caravan. A caravan. Did you see the video footage of it every single day during the election? But then what happened? Did it just disappeared afterwards?
They actually want to extend the Title 42. And now Title 42, remember, is a pandemic era protection from Health and Human Services, saying you can't come in because you might have COVID. So the Democrats don't actually want to just up border security permanently. Instead, they want this temporary...
Hey, good comment by Jeff. The people climbing the walls did it on January 6th. Yep.
...salve in which we pretend that COVID is still an ongoing problem. Sherrod Brown is now joining Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema to urge the administration to extend Title 42 for 2 years. For 2 years. So instead of actually passing a law that would increase border security, instead what they're going to do is pretend that the COVID crisis is still ongoing with regard to illegal immigration. Just amazing, amazing stuff. Meanwhile, Alejandro Mayorkas is blaming Congress. Doesn't matter. House Republicans just passed a border security bill. Mayorkas, because he works for the Democrats and is a Democrat administration official, he says it's Congress's fault.
I strongly prefer Drunk Ben. Drunk Ben is the only tolerable Ben Shapiro. It's the only one, because then all of a sudden it's just like you just sit there smiling. It's just that drunk racist uncle, you know, at Thanksgiving, just being like, ah, yeah, yeah. No, tell me more about conscription.
Our current situation.
Oh no, we can't ruin the flow. Oh, that was the end. He just ends on that note.
Broken immigration system.
In the fifth match, the last.
That's an amazing. What? So he's asking, how much does it cost taxpayers that we're bringing in, you know, millions of illegal immigrants? I don't like your question. Let me ask you a question that I do like. That question is, why wouldn't we want 100 million people to come into the country and send remittances back to their home country? What? What?
What?
And then you wonder why people think it's an open borders country. It's because of you. It's you. You're the one doing it.
Isn't he infinitely more watchable though? It's one little trick. You just got to go here, hit playback speed, and then go to 0.5 is the sweet spot we found. And then boom, I can actually listen to this now. Now it's not grating. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tao, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojak, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.